In a world where energy is everything, finding a reliable, portable power source can be a game changer. Today we're taking a closer look at the Bluetti AC70, a portable power station that's not only compact and convenient, but also incredibly versatile. About 18 months ago, I reviewed a portable power station from Bluetti, the EB3A. It was one of their smaller power stations and since then has been fantastic at keeping all my portable devices charged regularly. They reached out to me again to see if I'd be interested in checking out a bigger but still portable power station, the AC70. With a larger battery and a larger capacity output than the EB3A, I'm keen to see what I can power with it and how well it can fit into my regular power needs. I am a fan of Bluetti products and with my own money have purchased the AC200L and a B210 expansion battery, which I've been using for the past few months to be partially off-grid at my home. If you're interested in knowing more about that setup, let me know and I can make a video on that at a later date. To ensure transparency, this AC70 was sent to me for review purposes, but no money has changed hands, and this video hasn't been reviewed by Bluetti prior to going live. So with that, let's find out what the AC70 is all about. All portable power stations generally have two numbers on them, one which explains how much power it can output, and the other is the battery capacity. In the case of the AC70, it's capable of putting out 1000 watts. So this means it can power any appliance up to 1000 watts, things like a toaster, small kettle, blender, TV, fridge, computer setup, and so on. The other number on the AC70 is 768 WH, which stands for watt hours, and this indicates the total battery capacity, and you can use this to calculate the runtime of any appliance plugged in. So in this example here, I have a blender that needs 768 watts to operate. So in theory, with a 768 watt hour battery capacity, I can run the blender for 1 hour. If my blender uses half as many watts to run, so 384 watts, I could in theory run the blender for 2 hours on the AC70. As mentioned, the AC70 can output up to 1000 watts at a time, so if I were to plug a blender in that uses 1000 watts, I could use it for about 46 minutes until the battery is empty. These are hypothetical runtimes, of course. In the real world, your runtimes will be less as there is some energy from the batteries used to run the inverter in the AC70, and there will always be a safety buffer in the battery capacity to prevent it from being fully depleted. The AC70 comes very well packaged for transport, being a box inside a box and surrounded by a dense foam. You get the main unit itself, some paperwork, a grounding screw, and some cables. The cables included are for various charging options, giving you the ability to charge the unit up from wall power, solar power, or from your car's 12-volt outlet. Taking a closer look at the front panel of the AC70, and you can see there's a bit going on. Starting with the display, it shows you front and center the percentage charge of the battery. The ring around the outside of that indicates if it's charging or discharging, and the hours and minutes below that indicate the approximate runtime based on the current usage or time to charge based on the current input. On the left, the numbers show the DC input and output, and the right shows the AC input and output. There are also various other indicators which appear at times based on charging mode or if a fault has occurred. It's all quite easy to read at a glance, nice and bright, and you can choose to have the display turn off after a set period of time or stay on indefinitely if you prefer. Below the screen are 3 buttons. One turns the AC70 on, and then DC enables the DC outlets, and of course AC enables the AC outlets. For DC output, you have a 12-volt outlet, you have 2 USB-A outlets, good for up to 12 watts each, and 2 USB-C outlets capable of 100 watts each. For AC, there are 2 3-pin outlets capable of a combined 1000 watts of power. On the top left here is the DC input port. This allows you to plug in your solar panel or power from your car's 12-volt outlet to charge the unit up. It can take a maximum of 500 watts input. And then around here on the side is the AC input port and a ground or earthing screw. Along the back is a fixed handle for carrying the AC70. It weighs around 10 kilos, so while it's portable, you probably won't want to take it on any super long hikes. As mentioned, you can charge the AC70 using solar panels, your car's 12-volt socket, or using AC power. Taking a look at the solar option first, and you can see below the port there are some input specifications. You can use solar panels that output voltage between 12 volts up to 58 volts. You definitely don't want to go over that 58 volt limit though, as that can cause internal damage to the unit itself. Testing here with a 120 watt Bluetti solar panel, the AC70 shows the solar watts being input and, based on the current charge level, also shows the time remaining to fully charge. I'd recommend looking at a solar panel setup of at least 200 watts or more to get the AC70 charged up in a reasonable time frame. Plugged into my car's 12 volt outlet, the AC70 will charge at around 100 watts, so with its 768 watt hour battery, that's going to take about 8 hours from zero to full. If you plug the unit into AC wall power, you can charge at a maximum of 950 watts and give it a full charge in just over an hour. Pretty impressive. You have the ability through the app to adjust this AC charge rate too, from using silent to standard to turbo mode. Of course, while you are charging the battery inside the AC70, you still have the ability to use all the outputs as well. What this means also is that the AC70 works as a UPS, or uninterruptible power supply, for any appliance you have plugged in. So if you're in an area that's prone to power outages, using something like the AC70 could be super handy to save you from lost work on your computer or from spoiled food in your fridge. So far I've tested the AC70 on a variety of appliances and use cases. In my kitchen, I've had no issues powering my fridge, making some toast or using a blender. For a runtime test powering my fridge, I used around 50% charge in 6 hours, so could run my fridge for around 12 hours in this case. It will happily power my desk setup, consisting of a MacBook, 27-inch display, phone charger and HomePod. I've used the AC70 to run this setup for a full 8 hours with power to spare. I've used it to charge up my camera batteries, drone batteries and wireless microphones many times over on a single charge. And right now I'm using it to power my studio lights and camera to record this video. Like the smaller EB3A I reviewed, the AC70 also features app control via Bluetooth. This allows you to view the state of charge, input and output watts, enable and disable the AC and DC outputs, tinker with the eco settings, update the firmware and much more. The app is fully featured and shows me almost everything I've wanted to know about the AC70. Probably the only thing missing from the app is the time remaining indicator that you get on the AC70's display. Bluetti is offering a 5-year warranty on the AC70, and they say after 3,000 charge cycles it will retain around 80% of its original capacity. With a solid 1000 watt output and a 768 watt hour capacity in a portable unit, it's certainly capable of a variety of power supply applications. Pair it with a suitable solar panel setup and you have ongoing free power while ever the sun is shining and then beyond. I'll have a follow-up to this video where I explore more use cases for the AC70, so if there's anything you'd like to know, leave a comment below. There are links in the description on where to buy an AC70 for yourself, and as always, thanks for watching.